Welcome. Hello. Hello. How are you? It's been a long time, hermit mode I go, and sometimes, it's just this tunnel, this path that just is infinite, my friends, right? So it's just like, guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? So welcome. How have you been? It is Enchantress Thee Babbler, me, on our revolutionary rise of a high that is happening at this moment in time. And sacred is our time. And so I felt I felt it. I felt it. I was like, you know what? Just go. This is a random moment. This is a random moment in the midst of doing other things that I was just like, you know, record a video. Why not? And so here we are. And so no topic in mind. It's just an update, I guess, to get percolating that which shall be. It's always, and so sometimes, that too is important to note that even if you take a break and stuff like that, it doesn't mean it's infinite, right? Like and it doesn't mean that it's over. Because time is of the essence. It's infinite, right? And life we have, and we have to sometimes compartmentalize, right? Um, our time efficiently so that it can be effective. And so sometimes, we have to give things a rest, to rejuvenate itself. And I guess that's what this kind of was, because I didn't intentionally just stop recording for my YouTube. I just stopped recording. And because I do how I do when I do, and I intuitively move and all that kind of stuff, um, the introspection happens throughout the process. And so the bigger picture, sometimes even from my human perspective, can be far out there. So I always know, because I love recording and uploading and stuff like that. But it's kind of like, rediscovering yourself too. You know what I mean? And so I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. I don't know the direction I'm going to go and the type of videos, again, that I'm going to begin to share. Because although I might be into, tarot and oracle and astrology and mediumship and all that, I don't need those tools to activate, you know what I mean? Whether we use them or not, of course I will. And you can always go to my other platforms too, especially on Instagram, and check my stories out every day. Like I always do, like the pick of cards and things like that too. So if you're into that kind of stuff only, by all means, go to @Enchantress, ENCHANTRESS. That's me, Enchantress the Babbler, or Enchantress the Realtor too, right? So many updates and stuff like that. That is cool. All the links to be updated and be up to par with where we are will be in the description box. So read it, because I write it, and because I write it, you must read it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I'm excited. Um, I'm excited. I'm excited. And I just feel like the evolution of Enchantress the Babbler, right? This dynamic quantum energy um is a learning experience even for me. Um, and that's a great thing. You know what I'm saying? So either way, I just hit record because I even forgot where the record button was. Like I was like, where the yeah, where it was. And so that's how it be. But yeah, so how do I pause? Oh, I see. So I'm gonna pause. I'll be back. I wasn't ready to start. I was just ready to say hi. You won't feel the pause, but there will be a pause. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just setting up. Okay. So I'm back, and I did actually get some cards and stuff like that, I guess, stay on track. But I do have something that I do want to kind of discuss. It's in regards to like even a post that I had posted a little while ago. Let me look at the quote. The quote was the quote. What was the quote? What was the quote? When you do the right things for the right reasons, the right shit comes to you. Just like karma don't miss, blessings don't either. So stay solid. And I pretty much wrote like the truth will always shine through. Like life has a way of I'll just read it, okay? Myself. Okay. Life has a way of testing the purest of hearts. You can pour out your kindness, act with love, and move with authenticity, and still there will be those who distort your life and who try to rally others to join against you, right, with their wickedness and lies. Realize lies, and not everyone will see you for whom you truly are. And some operate so deeply from their pain that their projections take the form of chaos, right? Now, you just know those chaos agents out there, right? So their words may sting you, right? Their actions may shock, but remember this, their energy is theirs to bear, not yours to carry, right? So truth and integrity are unshakable forces. Those who walk in lies and distortion may try to dim your light, but the weight of their untruths will always return to them in due time, right? It's inevitable because that's just how the cookie crumbles. So you, however, are the walking sage, right? Carrying the sacred fire of love and authenticity. Let them talk their junk and trust. You don't want anything from their dirty trunks. Stay elevated because your vibration is safe when you move with truth, love, and the highest divinity of alignment. Three things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Buddha, right? Power affirmation activation. I am the walking sage, grounded in my truth, my heart, and my light. No words or actions can distort the power of my soul or the beauty of my essence. I trust in the divine balance of all things as I walk in love and authenticity without fear. Right? That's kind of about that. So, yeah. So let's take a deep breath. Let's woosah that, right? Let's woosah, woosah, right? So it's another moment for truth and reflection. And then I was shuffling these soul cards. So the thing about these soul cards is there's no meaning in it. It's for you to interpret as you will, to see that which you will, right? When you look at the images and stuff like that, right? So it's the reflection is yours truly, right? So remember that, right? As we tap in, turn on, tune in, right? As we tap in, turn on, tune into the divine space we're creating here together, right? So this topic might be sensitive for some, right? But it's not anything that many of us haven't faced, right? The distorted narratives, right, of others who try to place upon us this image that they want others to see us as, like, you know what I mean? And how we rise above it all, like, instead of ripping their faces out. You know what I mean? Like that type of stuff, you know? Um so, right? So when you're walking in your truth, there's no need for any of that. And as your ego might play with you or play with you and things like that, especially if you feel wronged, like, and stuff like that, when you show up, right? When you show up with that love and that authenticity and everything that you cultivate, like from within, right? Everything that you cultivate from within, you're creating that flow, right? So those distorted narratives and stuff like that that might come from other people, it teaches you really what needs to be activated within yourself, because the time that you give to heal even that hurt part of yourself, that space, right? Like, just look at how pretty, like, even in this picture, right? It's like, and it's interesting because the hashtag that I posted, when I posted what I posted, when I said what I said, right? Was as within exudes on out. As within exudes on out. And that's what your waters are really going to all be about, right? And what is it that you are, what are your most highest intentions, right? And sometimes, even when you move with the most highest of integrity and intentions, and it's not to say that you're perfect. Nobody is perfect, right? Nobody is perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. We all have to learn in this life, to the caliber and degrees of in which we learn how we learn and do what we do. That's gonna be different for everybody, right? So and even with all of that, right, there's still gonna always be, we're gonna encounter that person that's lurking in the shadows and in their own misery for whatever reason may be, right? And trying to taint your light. And it just be like that because it really does. Like, have you, come on, for those of you that have me tapped in, turned on, tuned in here, you can truly meet somebody for the first time. And granted, vibes are vibes, and we have been around longer than we could even understand or comprehend or, grasp in this realm, right? Of the perceived 3D reality. Like, so whatever the case may be, but like genuinely, especially if you are not about like that maliciousness or that ugly, like that people just be hating on people for no apparent reason. Like, you've encountered that, like you've encountered, especially if you're here, right? You've encountered, either encounter that or you're about that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, and that's the reason, because 'tis the season, right, where people want to, misery loves company. Right? And so, and let's say maybe you've been through a lot, or maybe you haven't. Maybe you haven't been through a lot. Maybe your life has been blissful and fortunate. That's wonderful. I will only wish that for everyone, to never have to have gone through anything even close to what I have gone through, or that which I've heard others go through. Like, it's not anything I wish for anybody, right? And so for those that may have, and I've met people like that where they've had a great upbringing, and that is phenomenal. Good. You can continue to pass that along. Like, pass that. The world needs more of that, right? Like, the world, we need that. We need that great upbringing, that you can go and continue that great upbringing for your continuation, your line and stuff like that. But for many of us, it doesn't happen that way. And for some of us, we're able to take that pain, transmute it, feel it, so that we can heal it, deal with it, so that we don't spread that same venom, right? That poison. But then there are others who take in that poison. We extract that shit. We fumigate this bitch, right? And so, sorry. And so there's people that will take that poison and woe be them. And because woe be them, woe be you too, and ugly is born, right? And so, whatever it is, right? It is that way, unfortunately. And hopefully, the evolution of the we that stand and rise despite the lies that can come and distort and create chaos even more so, faith be the soldier born out of the fight, bread, the spread that now gets to evolve onto the lands, because they were that wounded soldier that took that dagger, right? That took that dagger and poof, be gone. And so beauty comes out of these beautiful souls' mouths. And you can see it too. You can see it too. right? It's just like the audacity too sometimes. Like you can see a wicked person live their life wickedly, do malicious things behind people's back, lie, gossip, freaking talk shit about you the moment you walk out the room, and then calladita over here, like, and then spreading lies, this, that, and the third, and doing all of that, or just evil eyeing you, you heard, like, and really like doing doing the most, trying to act like a ghost, but psh, we woke. I don't even like using that word, but I'm just saying it rhymed. And so I used it at this time. And so poet is I, right? So anyways, um, what was I saying? Right. So it be like that. But what was I saying? Enchantress the Babbler. She's still here. It is not very clear. Papa, you here? Mhm. So yeah, even if you do all of that and you move with the greatest of intentions and the purest of heart, love, like, and really want what's great for other people and all this kind of stuff, there's still gonna be this miserable mofo that come up in here and be like, "Mm, mm, and you know what's crazy? So, you know how I was telling you guys from the last times that I don't really watch TV and shows and all this, and it's been like 10 plus years, and that for the last year or two, between my best friend and my daughter and stuff like that, they pull me out of that where I've watched some things, right? And so I'm not up to date like with everybody else knowing what shows are on. Like I don't want like I still like 'cause I'm so busy and I'm doing a whole bunch of other things and I rather spend my time doing other stuff, but I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. Like I understand the amusement that there is to shows and all this. I've enjoyed them in the past, like totally for myself, selfishly too. I'm not judging anybody that does that stuff. Great, good, do you. Like if that's your leisure, enjoy your pleasure. Like, it's not my pleasure, although I can enjoy it if I do it, like, whatever. Like, so what was I saying? It's exciting to be here. That's what it is. And it's just so much. I I'm so like out of touch and practice with doing my YouTube videos again that I need to have notes around me. I need to stay on task and because Enchantress the Babbler is I. Like if you've been with me for a very long time, you understand the babbler that is I. Like, and how I can just go into channeling mode and just speaking mode and it just and be from here and here and here. And then you gotta follow me here, here, here. And then I'll go back to here like a little bit later. And then I'll be like, go back to here, be like, oh, remember what I was saying and finishing the sentences there and here and here and here and there. And then it'd be like that. And for those of you that I knew when you were coming in, you were like, whoa. I don't know if there's ever any slowing down with me. But okay, what were we saying? Before the thing. I know what to say to go back to what I need to say to keep on track, you see, but I was saying something else in between. Sobriety can be silly too, anyway, all right, let's just go back into the topic thing. And then if I go back into what I'm gonna say, you know, there's always gonna be that opposing force, right? That um will be opposite that which you bring. And It'll be you, you know, the chain breaker, the evolutionary jumper, you know, because it's going to be through your actions of how you deal with these dissatisfactions or types of people that are there to, they're there for a purpose too, like they serve a purpose too, like unfortunately because the world is this way, we have to rid of it in the same kind of way, but we can't allow the same kind of poison to keep poisoning away, and so people fall for the bait, you know what I mean? It's like the evolution of mice. Now a mouse can see a mouse trap and I'd be like, I ain't going on that bitch. My great 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 grandfather died on one of those. So, you know, um, so it's kind of like that. Um, you can't keep biting off the same poison and responding in the same kind of way that creates still the same kind of poison to continuously be spread. So you're the way shower, the I get emotional, but you know how I be. So that's just the whatever. That's just me. Um, so you take that torch, you know, and even when you've been a fuck up, even when you you faced the darkest shadows of your own being, and even when everyone around you could be saying the same exact thing, you stand 10 mother fudging toes deep down in your truth, in your power, in your faith, in your fucking integrity. And you don't care that everyone else and their mother could be saying the same exact thing. You're going to stand in that truth. And it's inevitable that the truth shall set us all free. You know what I mean? And so, and why is that, right? Like, why is that? Why is it that way? You know, um, it's people who haven't done the inner work, right? They haven't done the inner work, um, so they live in a space of of distortion, right? Um, distortion and chaos, and often just can't see something else shining too in their vicinity. It's gonna irk them in some type of way, right? It's really not about you. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about them. You know what I mean? The same thing in our perception of that type of reality. Like, you know, when you live in such a space of distortion and chaos, you can't see someone else in the light of good that can possibly be. You have to distort it in some kind of way. It's like it's like insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Well, you know, how can, if you're bitter seed that's rotting energy wise, no matter how you can project yourself on the outside and make it seem like, you know, it's this way, you know, inside, you know, and the people closest around you know the truth. It's like you ever see those kids that they put their parents on blast? They're like, you don't act this nice when other people are not around, or behind closed doors, they're just horrible to their kids, or even in part and you see them in public, they're just nasty, have a nasty ass attitude, talk about people in front of you too, like, or always got some type of opinion that's negative about what somebody else is doing or saying, or, you know, like there's so many red flags, you know what I'm saying? So that, you know, people don't question when these people say stuff like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, where root is that coming? What pollution is that coming out of, right? So for those of you that shine and shit like that, right? People like that can see your glow, and it reminds them of the work that they still haven't done or that they've avoided. You know what I'm saying? And so instead of looking inward, right, they're looking at you and try to tear you down so you can meet them on their motherfucking level. You know what I'm saying? Or just try to, you know, change other people's perceptions of you. You know what I mean? And even if they have to resort to lies and things like that, like, they will. And then people, when it comes in, or you learn this, or you hear about it, or something like that, and you're like, what? Like, what? Right? And you're just like, and you can't fathom even thinking such a thought, right? Of that. So it couldn't have crossed your mind, right? Like, where, and then you just, like, because sometimes we try to understand how somebody can do that which they do and say that which they say and lie in the way that they do. And we're trying to get into that mentality too. But you got to understand, you have to have that distorted lens to begin with to be able to go that route of thought, you know what I mean, or things. So if you're not about that, like, don't beat yourself up for not seeing that, because that's been a thing with me. I didn't see that because we like to give people the benefit of the fucking doubt, or see people for them at their greatest doesn't necessarily mean that they're meeting you there at their greatest, or that they're at their greatest. We might see somebody at their most highest potential, but that doesn't make it a reality. So we got to get out of that distorted lens of seeing people at their best. It's really, are you at your best? Not the best that I can see in you and that I know that you can be, like, because that's part of the gift. You can see the potential in somebody and all this other kind of stuff. And meanwhile, that doesn't mean that that person is there. You know what I'm saying? So, so lies always catch up to people. And if that's one reality of a truth of a life lesson I have learned in this life, is that, you know what I mean? So that's the way the cookie crumbles in that department. You know what I mean? So, um, and chaos always exists for the person that spins it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it may not happen on our timeline. Don't think that I'm like, oh, revenge. I don't want people to suffer. I don't want people to suffer. It's unfortunate that people suffer, but it's not a wish of mine. Even if they've done me wrong, done me dirty, said this, said that, or whatever, my wish still wouldn't fucking be for them to suffer. It would be for them to heal. You know? Because we've all suffered enough. And that's what that is. You know what I'm saying? So it's unfortunate that if you that good people doing good from here and still having to deal with nonsense out there, I feel you. And it sucks. But we tough. But we soft, pliable, stretchable, expandable, evolutionary, revolutionary. That's monumental. That's stupendous. That is glory be God. You know? Yeah. That's the beauty of it. That is the beauty of it, right? Um, so despite whatever chaos you might face or whatever, stay in your alignment and give yourself the moment to pause and really reflect and introspect and be good here. Like I was telling my daughter the other day, I said, I don't want to speak to this person about something until I am not coming from a place of still a little bit anger and resentment, like spite. Because when I think about the conversation in my head, my response is spiteful. It's intentionally taking a bite. And because I don't want to do that, right? I don't want to do that. I'm not ready. And so that's like I was talking about that with a friend too, about embodying something, to embody it, right? For that fulfillment part of that evolution of it, to then realize you have to release that too. So it's like, like kind of like the cycle of something. It's like the pain you have to release, and then when you release it, what does it become? What energy does that create? What does that do? Like, so it's like, fine, you felt the injustice, and now here you are for your justice. So you're righteous. And that be the shit that be twisting and distorting people's mind. They think that because they're right, that they're justified and that they're righteous in that righteous rage. But that's the thing, it's bigger than that. Like, there's been so many times that I've been right. But because I have how I handled it, I was so wrong. And so two wrongs don't make a right, like that type of thing, and these lessons that we have to learn about life, and how are we going to be that evolutionary being that shifts that transforms that transmutes that. You have to become that, and you have to have a leveling of accountability, awareness, consciousness, your presence. It's to be present, right? Not to get washed up in all the emotional chaos storm that will come in and tsunami everybody like a fucking moldavite. If you don't know what a moldavite is, it's a crystal. And just Google moldavite crystals and what they say when you bring it into your household. What it can do, So I have moldavite all around. I do. So anyways, so you, beautiful soul, right? We don't, me, we don't need to fight with more lies, right? We don't need to do any of that kind of stuff, right? Um, because we're the walking sage, right? We're the walking sage. Continue to carry wisdom, continue to carry love, continue to be authentic, continue to shine your shine, to talk your snack. If you watch my stories on Instagram and you follow along, then you would know what I mean, because there was a pick a card kind of thing, and one of the cards was your snack, you're delicious. So I was saying, don't talk your smack, talk your snack, right? So anyway, that's a reference to that. So go check out my stories on Instagram too. At Enchantress, that's me, Enchantress. Make sure to click the link to all my links, and then read up, update yourself, press all the other links that link you to where you need to be linked for you and I to link it up. That's the step. And so you can go check that out over there in the description box or in the bio or wherever else you want to go. It's everywhere, right? So right? So remember that. Walk in wisdom, walk with love. Um, be authentic, right? And no distortion can get through that. They could try. They will. You know what I mean? They will. But it's all good. Let them talk their smack. Let them talk. Let them talk their smack. But remember, you the snack. Let them talk. This is the title. Let them talk their smack. Remember, you are the snack. And this, my friends, is how titles are born. Born. You remember? Born. Okay, born. Okay. All right. Yeah. Oh, look, I looked down. From whom can I release my judgment right now? Judgment closes our heart to truth and separates us from love. This is why we have to walk in wisdom, and sometimes it causes, and walking in that wisdom requires us to take a step fucking back, to take a step back, to pause, to reflect, to introspect, and detect the malfunctioning that is happening within your own system before addressing anybody else on their fucking distorted, chaotic system. Okay? Especially if you want to walk in divine empowerment. You know what I mean? So, judgment closes our heart to truth and separates us from love. It binds us to our fear and holds us in shame. On whom are you placing judgment right now? Is it someone in your life? Is it yourself? Release the shackles, drop the expectations, and be grateful for what is. Today's soul action. Look at the person you are judging as if you are looking at a small child. And that's a good reflection to have it as, right? Because we are really the hurt side, the hurt persons from us are usually the hurt children within us. You know what I mean? And we've had many lives, many masters, and many dimensions of reality that exist in our mind. We have to get through that, through our heart, our bodies, our soul, right? There's so many lives lived, you know? So look at the person you are judging as if you were looking at a small child. See them learning and growing, falling down and making mistakes. See their desire to be loved and accepted. Add even more grace to open your heart to this truth. When I lift the judgment for myself and others, I uncover my own truth. I am loved, I am whole, I am limitless, and so are they. I love that, right? I love that. That was beautiful. Right. So let them talk. Let them talk, right? Misery loves company. You don't need to be miserable, right? Wicked and malicious, you don't even need to tie. You could just walk in your straight, alchemize and align and be divine all the time and continue to shine. And as you continue to shine, it might aggravate their line, but stay in your alignment. You know what I mean? Because you are that ultimate quantum refinement, that drink, that elixir, that fixer, right? That mixer. Don't get me started. Anyway, yeah. Right, so we have to also like do sacred things, do things that are going to help us, right, to continue in that alignment alchemization, right? Because you can't keep like, sometimes, like, okay, for someone like me, it's so easy to say, right? It's so easy to say, oh, just don't think about it, do something else. But like someone like me, I have strong scorpionic tendencies, right? Yeah, Sagittarius, that might be in the thing, but in Vedic astrology, I have Scorpio in astrology. Please take it like a grain of freaking salt. I like using it as a measurement of talking and stuff like that. But still, at the end of the day, this is introspection land. I'm just using colorful language that has been taught upon our land to express something that I'm just trying to explain, right? But like, if you have strong scorpionic tendencies within you, then you know that we hold on to things. So they can say like Sagittarius, tends to let go of things, and they're able to, shoot that arrow, aim over there, and keep going and keep trotting along and going and letting bygones be bygones in certain kind of ways. Granted, that might be in my DNA, my astrological DNA. The scorpionic too is a way, and it's also a fixed sign, right? So it's a fixed sign rooted in the pain aspect of something. So as easy as it might be for another, like we'd say Sagittarius that has strong Sagittarius in their chart, to just let it go. I don't know that song, let it go, let it go. No, I be holding it in my soul, right? And so that can be a challenge in itself to let it go. So just understand that even though I might say, well, just let it go, and I can going along, know that it's not easy for me. Like I said, like this conversation that I'm going to have, and it's going to happen, in a divine right timing. I don't want to be in that space of a place that I speak spitefully, right? And so, that's because I don't let it go. You understand what I'm saying? So I want to let it go, let it go, let it go, right? So either way, that's our anyways. So let's talk, right? And let us reflect. Let's continue to reflect on the deepest part of the illusions and the apparent unfairness, or whatever the case may be, right? Sometimes it feels like if we don't say something, if we don't do something, or we allow the something, that we're rewarding the wrong people. You know what I mean? Like they're getting away with it or something like that. Like, and let me set them straight, or like, let me, that type of stuff. But I'm here to remind you that in all your righteous glory and ways, if you're operating from that state of place of still righteous riot anger, like at the end of the day, it's not love, it's still anger. You know what I mean? And we have enough of that in this world, and so the hardest thing would be to find that forgiveness within, right? But in the meantime, understand that in your process, as you progress, because you will, right? You have nothing to worry about, especially if you're operating from this love space, right? It's okay for me to meet the spite in me, right? This brought up spite in me, right? Which is ugly. It's ugly. It's an ugliness. I don't want to be spiteful because of somebody else's actions, right? That's not how, that doesn't bring me happiness. That's not how I want to operate. But I have to reflect on that. I really have to understand, where is this spitefulness coming from? And that person is not going to give me that answer. You know what I'm saying? And so look it down. What am I grateful for right now? So that could be, so that's what I was saying. Like, you have to do something in between to keep yourself away from going to the extreme of their lens. You have to counteract, especially if your system is getting a little bit out of whack, because you need to find your solution, and you need to be your solutions. It has to be natural for you. You can't be doing something that don't really vibe with you. You got to vibe with it, right? So that you can continue with it, so that it can be that grow, that flow, that, so you can know and stuff like that, right? What am I grateful for right now? Adopt an abundance mindset. Gratitude is the antidote to all of our problems. It is impossible to be fearful and grateful at the same time. Gratitude improves our health, opens our heart, and changes our state. Today's soul action. The universal law of attraction says that we attract into our lives that on which we are focused. Notice that it didn't say what you were deserving of or what you want. It says focused. Let me read that again. The universal law of attraction says that we attract into our lives that on which we are focused. Close your eyes, put your hand on your heart, and think of 3 things for which you are grateful for right now. Notice that the abundance is growing within you. And so, yeah, that's what I have to say, right? 3 things cannot be long hidden. The sun, the moon, and the truth. Who don't? Right? So my love, stay rooted in your truth, right? Keep walking as the sage, on the stage. Shine your snack. Trusting that your vibration isn't whack. It is on fleek. You know what I mean? So you can walk these streets and glide your stride, right? And with some pride. And walk with your head held up high, right? As you rise and continue to rise in your light, right? So yeah, we can do these things. We could be this way, right? So I love that. I love that, right? So I am the walking sage, unshakable in my truth, right? Unshakable in my truth. No words, no lies, no distortions can touch the beauty of my soul. I trust the universe to handle things. So motive me, right? I gotta sneeze. I don't sneeze in just one. No, I don't. Right? So one more card for the road, and then I'm gonna go. And stay tuned for more. And make sure to read in the description box, like I said, everything that is going on, my friends. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. Feel free to email me. Feel free to DM me. Feel free, right? Definitely check my links and all my updates, and let's stay connected. Let's stay connected. What does the notes from the universe? What would love do? Do you know why it's so easy for us in the unseen to quickly pinpoint your whereabouts? You leave behind footprints of love. Aw, the universe. P.S. The legend of Bigfoot continues. Love, what would love do? What would love do? Here we go. Don't be misled, okay? When fear speaks, it's always wrong. Unless being chased by wildebeest. Uh-oh. And when love speaks, it's always right. And usually very bouncy. Game on, the universe. One more for the road. One more for the road. Things are about to get really juicy. A little heads up on an addiction that afflicts all really old souls. Giving love eventually becomes an even greater need than receiving love. See, you're not strange. Love the universe. Until next time, arrivederci. And make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, say hi. Bye.